Awesome. So, hi everybody, my name's Mai. I'm the founder of Web5 Studio. So we are like a full service marketing agency targeting to turn your blockchain idea into Web3 reality. So today my topic is about branding lessons I wish I know earlier. And this topic really comes from my experiences talking to hundreds of Web3 founders in the field, talking to VCs. And these are the experience that they wish the founders to know. Basically, is the branding lessons I wish I know earlier. So let's get started. So before I start my topic today, I want to do a little market research. How many of you guys here are developers? Raise your hand. Great. How many of you guys have a project? You founded a project? Great. How many of you guys understanding branding? Raise your hand. Fewer hands. How many of you guys have a branding guideline? Raise your hand. Even fewer. So I guess we have a lot of work to do, so let's get to the presentation. So why me? Why do I have the right to give a branding related lesson here? So to summarize, I'm a marketer, advisor, and storyteller. I have over 10 years of marketing experience covering business to consumer, business to business verticals. To summarize, I built 3 apps, grow users from 0 to millions, no matter it's from user acquisition point of view, or it's from social network following point of view. I've also founded a national day. It's on April 30th, which is a National Bubble Tea Day. So if you guys like boba, celebrate on April 30th with me. So, as you guys know, I'm the founder of Web5 Studio, and the focus right now I'm having is to build a Solana marketing academy. So I'm working with Solana Foundation team to create a Solana Marketing Academy, basically to teach founders and marketers in the Solana ecosystem to do more branding, to do more marketing. And if you guys want to learn more about the marketing or content creation or branding tips, follow me on Twitter. So it's babyape2334. So this is today's agenda for my branding lessons. First, we're gonna cover the importance about branding. And then I'm gonna show you guys how to use the 4-step approach to create a branding framework for your project. And then we are gonna enter into Q&A session. And my purpose for today is to really make this branding workshop useful for you guys. And I want to make it interactive. So any of the time you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. And I do want to share one story about why branding is so important. When I first started joining Solana Hacker House, I would talk to the builders. I would ask them, hey, what are you guys building? And then they would ask me in return, they're like, Mai, what are you building? I will respond, I'm helping the builders to market and build. And I would see the light dim in their eyes because they're like, you know, I understand from developer perspective, marketers are very non-technical. So when I did my first ever marketing talk in Prague Hacker House, which is this March, and I was a little bit concerned. I was like, how many people is gonna show up? How many people is gonna be interested in marketing in the Web3 field? But to my surprise, a lot of people showed up for that first ever marketing session during Solana Hacker House. And I do see the genuine demand from people to understand more about branding, about marketing, even to market their project. And that's also when I'm up here. As he's one of the audience in that break session, so I guess I made a cut. He was impressed, so I was invited today. So let's get to the important stuff, branding. Why branding is important. Kyle from Multicoin was here last week. I asked him, you know, as the founder of the Multicoin, you've seen thousands, if not millions of projects. What do you see as one of the biggest marketing challenges you see in the field? So what Kyle responded was, I think most projects have one issue. They were not able to articulate what their product is in one simple sentence. So if you cannot articulate what your product, your service offer in one sentence, then branding is for you. So these are the common issues I've seen when talking to a lot of founders in the Web3 and Solana space. First is the lack of branding knowledge, because I understand devs are builders, not marketers. And secondly, that people undervalue the importance of branding. And third is that they would only want to worry about branding when it's too late. But in reality, when should we do the branding? I just want to start with some data to help us understand the importance of marketing. Because we are in the Solana ecosystem today, so I want to highlight the Solana ecosystem data. Based on the Solana ecosystem website, we have more than 1,700 projects. And if you are doing an NFT project, we have 399 competitors. As a DeFi project, we have 200 competitors. And if you're doing gaming, we have less competitors, but we still have a lot of competitors. Especially consider in an ecosystem that doesn't have millions of users yet, which is our goal in the future, your user pool is very small and limited. That's why it is very important for your project to leverage branding, marketing, to make people remember about your project. Do any of you guys know how many times you have to talk to your potential customers for them to remember your brand? Any guess?
21 times.
21 times? Less than that? Easier?
3.
3? More than that? Try harder?
7.
7 is the magic number. So on average, you have to talk to your customers from different communication channels for 7 times before your potential customers can remember you. And during these 7 times, if you send out an inconsistent branding message, it's very likely they will forget your brand. So let's take a look at this graph chart. So if you're building on Solana, I don't know if you can see your logo up there, because that's all the projects building on top of Solana. So guess when we should start branding? It should start yesterday. So since branding should start yesterday, let's get to the real workshop of today. So like I mentioned earlier, so this workshop is gonna center around 4-step approach. The step 1 is that we should think about mission statement. Any of you guys have a mission statement for your company? I see some people nodding their heads. Good job. For the people who don't have a mission statement, we're going to do a little bit interactive access here. So to summarize, a mission statement is basically the purpose of your business. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about the famous theory, the golden circle. The golden circle have 3 layers. On the outside layer, you should talk about what your product is, what your service is. And in the second layer, it talks about how your business can get there. But in the inner circle of that golden circle, it should be about why. Why are you doing your business? Why your customers should care? So the why is the most important thing, and it's the most important question you should ask yourself, you should ask your team members. So there's 4 important components in the mission statement. First is your target audience. Who are you selling your products to? Where are they? So that's your target audience. And the second part is that a description of what your product is, describe what your product or service is. And the third part, which is the emotional part, you should talk about the value of your product, the potential value your product or service can bring to your target audience. And the fourth is also very important. I'm sure a lot of you guys have conducted competitor analysis, but how your product is different from your competitors, that's where you should talk about your unique selling point. So here are some of the great mission statement examples I grabbed to inspire you guys. So for example, for Coca-Cola, they're about to refresh the world, to inspire moments of optimism and happiness, and to create value and make a difference. That's why you guys see a lot of Coca-Cola commercials is about happiness. Like open a Coke, share the happiness. For Google, they're about to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And you guys can see there's some other examples here. And my favorite one is TED, spread ideas, which I think is very simple, straight to the point, and also very memorable. And of course, I have to include a Web3 example, which I think FTX did a really good job here. FTX is a cryptocurrency exchange built by traders, for traders. So a very clear value proposition about the target audience and what's their value proposition. So if we're talking about mission statement, here are some key takeaways when you guys are trying to create a mission statement with your team members. Make it short and snappy, like TED, spread ideas. Make it memorable, because remember, people will have to communicate with your brand 7 times before they can remember you. And make it unique. Focus on that unique selling point, because what makes you, what makes your product is that unique selling point. And of course, we have to make it realistic. We know how dangerous it is to overpromise and underdeliver. And that mission statement should also be very current. You don't want that mission statement to be only usable for a year, but you shouldn't also be constantly changing. The next step we're gonna do after that mission statement exercise is to visualize your brand using 4 keywords. Can anyone clearly define their brand in 3 or 4 keywords? Hard, challenging, clockwork, maybe? Not really? So I would suggest everybody start with a list of keywords they think are relevant to their products, to their services. I would encourage you guys to start, maybe you can start with 20, and ask every team member to pick 3 or 4 keywords. And make sure it's relevant to your mission statement. Make sure it's relevant to your product, your service. Why are we doing this exercise? Because every brand should have a brand identity, and every brand should have a brand personality. So once you have that brand identity and brand personality, whenever you are communicating with your target audience, no matter it's on Twitter, no matter it's on LinkedIn, no matter it's for your salesperson to talk to potential customers, they can always refer to these 3 or 4 keywords, because that's your brand tone of voice, that's your brand personality. So this is some of the exercise you guys can do with your team members. Ask them why they pick those keywords, and then rank the importance of keywords, because there should be one central entity and with the 2 other keywords. And it will also help you to keep focus of your project as well. I don't know how many of you guys have seen this classic SY chart. Although we laugh about the common use of this chart, and every VC knows that your product should probably be here, but it's important to conduct this exercise. So it is very important for your project to pick the 2 most important variables when you're thinking about the chart. And then make sure to visualize your market positioning and compare that with your competitor analysis. Number 4, which also I will argue is one of the most important steps here. When you're building a branding framework, you should always think about your target audience. But target audience is not a generic word. They are actual human beings, surprisingly. So when you build target personas, these are the information I want you guys to narrow it down to actually think about it. So first, we need to think about their demographics. And I know a lot of you guys will say, hey, my target consumers are devs. But your devs have different names. The devs ranges in age, and some devs are women too, and they live in different parts of the world. So when you're conducting your communication strategy, your marketing strategy, think about where are they located. Think about what is the communication channel they use the most. Think about their hobbies, their favorite brands, what trends do they like. So when are you putting out that content and putting out the strategy, you are making it relevant to them. That's why it will be way more easier for them to remember your brand, because it is personal and relevant to them. So if there's one thing I hope you guys can remember today, is to use this 4-step approach to start building your branding framework. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but this presentation is not intended just to be informational. I hope it can be transformational to really help you guys build that branding and marketing mindset and share it with your team members and start to think about what are the keywords you guys can use in all of your future communication or marketing efforts. So some of the next steps we can do immediately is that after you guys did that initial branding framework, take that, conduct a content audit, use that framework. For example, if we have 4 keywords as professional, friendly, and sassy, and then when you look at that Twitter copy for anything that is not on brand, for anything that sounds less professional and unfriendly, that's your future direction for changing. And repeat this exercise every 6 months to make sure internally every team member is aligned and following that key value for your business. So that is the presentation of today. I hope you guys really take some key points from home. And then if you have any questions, DM me on Twitter. Thank you.
Where does that number 7, like on average, that you have to talk to your customers come from?
So it's based on Google, and some data analysis did that, yeah. So 7 times, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could you share a bit of maybe like some generalized case studies of branding exercises you've done with projects and what the change was and what to improve them?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing is the mindset. You can teach people about the skill sets, the tactics, how to do it, but without that branding training, without really going through this like exercise with your team members, people wouldn't think about it. So I would say the most important step is to start to do this exercise. And I would say the easiest maybe is to start those 4 keywords. For example, if you know those 4 keywords, and then make sure that your salesperson, your devs, or whoever is your organization can stay to that brand personality or that brand identity. I think it's the most important thing. But also, I think, to give you a specific example, right? When you guys have a product, you have to think about campaigns, product launches. And people may think it's a very generic idea, right? I'm launching a product. It's very generic. But when you have a brand identity, when you have a key message, when you have answered the questions why we're doing this, you can easily answer the first question, why are we doing this product launch? And give your target consumer that reason. Hey, we're doing this product launch because you need it to resolve some of your pain points. So whenever you're doing campaign, you are trying to address their concerns. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
Hey, Ron, so like every project has like a list of socials, right? You got Twitter, Telegram, Medium, Discord, etc. Is there like a better like bang for your buck in terms of which socials you should focus on? Like obviously Twitter and crypto is like big deals, so you should probably be doing that. But like Telegram versus Discord, right? I feel like there's like would you prioritize one over the other, or should you do both, or like what's your strategy there?
I think that's why the importance that we talk about who is your target audience. Where are they? How old are they? I think maybe Discord skill a younger crowd and Telegram skill a more professional crowd, right? So once you did that branding exercise with your team members, you can get feedback from your team members. They may tell you, hey, I think our target audience are people from 25 to 30, they like to use Discord more than Telegram. Or maybe if it's an NFT project, they may be on an even younger side, they may even like to use TikTok more. So you have to use that target consumer as your guiding principle to think about what communication channel you should use instead of what works for other people, because every project is different. And test it out. Any other questions? Awesome. If you have more questions, you know where to find me. Okay, thank you.
Big round of applause, please.